Welcome to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Planning Commission's Planning Committee meeting. My name is Douglas A. Welton. I am the chairman of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Planning Commission and also the Planning Committee. It is July 15th, 2025, roughly 5 p.m.-ish, and we are meeting here at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center. That's at 600 East 4th Street. We are in room 280. Our meeting this evening is being streamed on the Planning Department's YouTube page for those of you who are not here or who would like to have a second bite of this apple later on this evening. We will begin our meeting by introducing our commissioners, and we'll begin all the way to our left with Commissioner Gaston.
Melissa Gaston, Planning Commission.
Rebecca Weldon, Planning Commission.
Carolyn Millen, Planning Commission.
Michael Caparilli, Planning Commission.
All right, thank you very much. We will not be joined by Commissioner Lansdell this evening, who has business otherwise. Commissioner Russell will be joining us shortly. We will now introduce staff, and we will begin with Ms. Henson all the way to my right.
Erin Henson, planning staff.
Jason Pauling, planning staff.
Maria Florin, planning staff.
Kathy Cornett, Planning Staff.
Get the back row on that side.
Zania Duhaney, planning
Oh,
staff.
sorry.
Catherine Mahoney, planning staff.
Vicki Keitlinger, Charlotte Water.
Grab a mic.
Jonathan Bellers, Mecklenburg County Stormwater.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We will begin our meeting as we always do with approval of our June 17th, 2025 meeting minutes. And do I hear a motion for the disposition of those meeting minutes?
Gaston, I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the June 17th, 2025 meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Weldon.
It has been motioned by Commissioner Gaston, and then sometime later, Commissioner Weldon woke up and seconded the motion. All those in favor of the motion to approve our meeting minutes, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you very much, everyone. Now we're on to our mandatory referrals, and we have several. Do we have any questions or things that people would like to pull out in any particular, for any particular additional discussion?
I just have a question. I don't want to pull it out about 2539.
Okay, who's doing 2539 for us? Jason, did I say that you're my favorite?
Yes, so I guess I have a question. I drove by and took a look at that. And what appears to be in the purple area, I know that's not part of this mandatory referral, but they look like they're doing some work along that riverbank or creek bank or whatever you call it, where they flattened it out and widened it. Is that why you're acquiring, or there's a request to acquire this land, these parcels? You know?
I'm not aware of that, but I think that you're talking about Irwin Creek, and that's probably on that's solid waste. That's the old landfill property. So these are for specifically tree canopy preservation. And there was, I think, 3 others in this area on Atondo last month. So they're just continuing to provide that buffer along Atondo to that industrial site.
Okay. Thank you.
Does anyone else have any issues, questions, or comments that they would like to have addressed? If not, may we have the verbiage? Do I have a reader of the verbiage?
No. The Planning Committee reviewed mandatory referral reports 25-34, 25-35, 25-37, 25-38, 25-39, 25-40, and 25-41 on July 15th, and have no additional comments for the submitting agencies.
Do we hear a second for the?
Millen, second.
With that, the reading has been done by Commissioner Weldon and seconded by Commissioner Millen. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Then that all passes. And those of you who came to provide us with some feedback on mandatory referrals, please feel free to leave the room and go to your homes. As always, thank you all for coming. And one day we will ask you some questions, so always be on your toes. All right. That is the first 9 items on our agenda down. And we're up to item number 10. And Ms. Florin will give us, are you the leader of the presentating? All right. Well, I will tee it up and you go hit the home run.
Okay. Yes, so thank you all for having me tonight. As I mentioned, my name is Maria Florin and I'm a project manager on the long range planning team. And I'm here to talk to you about a new effort that we're leading with Mecklenburg County called the Comprehensive Plan for Unincorporated South Mecklenburg. So it's a mouthful. This overview that I'm providing tonight is really just as a courtesy to keep you all informed. So there won't be any action needed on this group's part. So as I'll explain in the next few slides, this plan is intended to be adopted by the Mecklenburg County Board of County Commissioners, not Charlotte City Council. So this project is a joint effort with Mecklenburg County and the City of Charlotte to develop future land use guidance for a 1 square mile area of land in South Mecklenburg County, shown here on the map. Off of Lancaster Highway and Providence Road West. So this project area was previously in the town of Pineville's sphere of influence / ETJ. However, they recently decided not to renew or uphold that agreement. And so therefore it's now just in Mecklenburg County's unincorporated area. So the City of Charlotte and Mecklenburg County have an agreement in place that has the City of Charlotte's planning department managing the required planning for the unincorporated areas of Mecklenburg County, which is why we're involved here.
When did that change that Pineville did not? Do you have a year on that?
I don't know the year on that.
I think it was maybe just last year. It's pretty recent. Yeah. We can find out the exact date for you.
And then in addition to that, in the past few years, the state of North Carolina passed a law which became effective in July 2021, requiring a comprehensive or land use plan as a condition for applying zoning regulations. And so that's why we found ourselves here today. So any new rezonings or changes have to have a land use plan in place, and that area does not have land use guidance in place. And so that's why we are, and so for the unincorporated areas of Mecklenburg County, that was included in the policy map and the community area planning work that we've done. But this piece, since it was just released, doesn't have that guidance. So that's why we're taking that on today. Just for the record, I wanted to show the law that I won't read through it, but this is the law that North Carolina passed requiring that.
We love one.
And here is a zoomed in map of the project area. As I shared, it's about 1 square mile located on the southwestern edge of Mecklenburg County. It's bordered by Lancaster Highway, Providence Road West, the Pineville town limits, and the South Carolina line. You can see Ballantyne Commons Parkway that connects the site to the Ballantyne area in the top left of the screen, and Johnston Road to the east for some context. I want to reiterate that this project is only intended to provide the legally required future land use recommendations for the project area, and it will not make any zoning changes. These land use recommendations will be done using the same place type designations that we use within the City of Charlotte, but the zoning will remain as is using the county's zoning districts. So the Charlotte UDO does not apply here. I know this group already has an understanding between place types and zoning, but just for some additional informational purposes, I wanted to briefly touch on this slide that provides more information about the differences in place types and zoning. And I won't go through each one, but just want to share that place types and zoning work together, but they serve different roles. When rezonings are proposed, staff often looks to the place types for guidance to see if the proposal aligns with the community's vision. So in short, place types set the goals and zoning make them happen. For the project schedule, we began kind of pre-planning for this earlier this spring, and we've planned for 2 phases of community engagement. We're in the middle of phase one engagement now. We held a virtual and an in-person community meeting in June, similar to our community area plan meetings, where we shared information about the project, went through some land use exercises, and gathered input from the community. The second phase will take place in August, where we'll go back to the community with draft recommendations or with final recommendations for the review. And then to conclude the process, September, October timeframe, we hope Mecklenburg County will complete review and adoption.
Can you give us a clue as to how many people participated in that community?
Yeah, okay. I don't have the exact numbers, but we had a really good turnout for the in-person meeting. I think for the virtual one, we had maybe 30 or 40 people. I'll have to get the final exact numbers.
Okay.
For the in-person, we had about I think 18 people registered and about 60 something people showed up to the meeting,
Okay.
which was a big number.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had some good outreach and people who were interested. And again, I just put the community meetings on the slide here. The virtual, we had the virtual options on the Tuesdays at 11, and then the in-person options for Thursdays, again, similar to our community area planning ones. And so just some overview of how this effort will be completed. The first step included staff developing a map with existing zoning districts, which were mapped to the most equivalent place type. And then in the second step, with community input, staff will review conditions that warrant a revision to another place type, and then we'll develop final recommendations. And then again, with the county adopting it in the end. I know this group is familiar with place types, but I just wanted to put these on there just to show, again, this is the tool that we'll be using similar to what we do in Charlotte. And then I just kind of wanted to show you the exercises that we walked through as well. So as I mentioned, here's the project area. We mapped all of the zoning districts on the ground, and you can see kind of the colors outside of the area where Charlotte's where they've already been adopted in Charlotte. The majority of the project area is zoned R3 and R5, so it's mostly residential, but there is some R20, RMH, some UR2, NS, and BDCD.
There are no commercial in that, is there?
There's there's the BDCD is some storage units, which I'll show you shortly.
Okay.
Up at the top.
Oh, okay.
So we mapped it as manufacturing and logistics to start, but we shared it with the community and asked for some feedback. So there was some feedback on some questions about whether it should be commercial versus manufacturing and logistics. So we're going to be reviewing those comments and seeing if we'll do manufacturing or commercial. So yeah, on the policy map, the R3, R5, all the residential translated to neighborhood 1. There's a small sliver of neighborhood 2 that was that's UR2 CD. Then as I mentioned, the manufacturing at the top. And then there's a small bit of NS that we translated to neighborhood activity center. Go to the next slide. And so those three areas, those two areas at the top were two kind of focus areas that we looked at. So the manufacturing and logistics at the top, and those are two different storage unit businesses run on either side. And then the neighborhood center includes some dental offices, prep school / daycare on the site, and like some orthodontist and dentist office. And then the last site, number 3, is Harrison United Methodist Church at Lancaster Highway and Providence Road West. It's an 18-acre church site. And so at this one, we were asking the community if they think it's appropriate to stay at neighborhood 1, or if they think it's appropriate for them to transition to the campus place type. So these were the 3 sites that we kind of brought up for discussion in the meetings. Then the next steps, the comment deadline for public comment will be next Friday, July 25th. Then we'll review the community feedback and make some map revisions if appropriate. And then in the August community meetings, we're going to share the refined recommendations with the community and the finalized project recommendations. But because of some interest in the virtual meeting and the in-person meeting in phase one, there was lots of questions about annexation and about a lot of other issues, but mostly annexation. So we decided to devote 1 hour of the August meetings.
Pineville, because, you know, they kind of were already adjacent to Pineville. Is that the thing that's on the table?
Yeah, there was some interest in that, not, unanimous, but there was some interest in questions about it, yeah.
Okay.
For
Because it,
Charlotte, not Pineville.
yeah, if they were annexed into Charlotte, this whole exercise would kind of go away. Correct.
Either way that there's no land use guidance in place.
Yeah.
So we have to do it anyways, but
Okay.
yeah.
Has there been a rezoning in this area? Because I was trying to, by the way, I'm trying to pull up the rezoning history thing in here,
Yeah.
and it's not happy, whatever.
There's some pending rezonings that have not gone through because there's no guidance.
Oh,
East one, I don't have the number of
okay.
it, but I think it's from 2022 or 23, but I
Yeah,
can get you
that's
that
what
number.
that's what I thought, that there were some old rezonings, and I thought that they had kind of gone away. I didn't know what had become of them, but
Yeah, they have
obviously,
just sat silent. So they submitted and they haven't been able to go through. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I do have one question, just because I'm familiar with this. Are they going to require 100% approval for the annexation?
I'm not sure the details of what, but from what I understand from Holly is that at least for subdivisions, or I don't know if it's 100% of the whole project area or that I'm not as familiar
I
with.
think you do.
Yeah.
100%. That was what would make it difficult for the residential portion. It's
That's
pretty unlikely that you'd be able to do that, but any of those specific questions that you want answered, we can, Holly Kramer is, the staff person that manages that process, and we're happy to get any answer.
okay. Yeah, I was just curious if that one was different than the other.
Yeah, we do have a few annexation FAQs on the website as well that Holly on our entitlement services team put together related to that. So I don't remember if she answered that in there, but that might be helpful to take a look at.
Because I was looking at the quality of life dashboard this afternoon, just trying to figure out how many people were in the area. And I don't know how close the statistics are, and hopefully I only clicked on the NPAs that I wanted. But it said there were like 3,500 homes, and I think the population was like 6,600 or something of that nature. And getting 100% on 3,500 homes is perhaps going to induce some laughter somewhere, I guess. That might be the way to put that. And there's no involuntary annexation anymore, right? So they can't just be gobbled up just because. So the county commission gets this, and the likely scenario is they approve this and say, okay, go ahead, because they have to have it, right? You have to have a comprehensive plan for whatever. Does the county commission understand that they have to go forward with this? I guess, you have no clue about the answer to that, I guess. But in my mind, I'm saying, do the commissioners really understand what is necessary there? And
So we're working with their staff.
Okay.
On that piece of it. It's a partnership with Mecklenburg County staff as well. And so we're relying on their staff for the communication with the county commissioners and county leadership as well.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Because I mean, it's a very homogeneous little chunk.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing but little lollipops out there of cul-de-sacs, except for the commercial area. And I've driven past the church. I cannot pull back my notion of, I know it's over on this side of the road, but I cannot remember what it looks like in detail. And I'm assuming that the church is not going to change anytime
So
soon.
another piece of it, that there was a proposal that they had submitted, or not this, they didn't submit this. I think they had done like a plan within themselves that they wanted to do some potential affordable housing on the site at some point. It wasn't submitted, or it's not anything that we have.
Okay.
But so there was interest in that. And so a lot of the community came out because I think they had heard about that as well.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Okay. Can I ask that planning committee get in the loop on the August, at least the August in-persons, if you guys can send us an email for that? Some of, I know this is way down yonder. So it may not be, if you like traffic, it may be the perfect thing for you to try and get to. What, the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock meeting down on Lancaster Highway? Oh, it's a smooth sailing.
And
But
we'll have this virtual option as well.
have you ever been here when we talked about the virtual options and how much we love them? Okay. All right. There was no snark in that. Anyway, if you can just make sure we're in the loop on that, because, if it's at 5 or 6 o'clock, I'm not too far away and I can actually get there. And I would be interested to see what the feedback is. This is the only area in the county that this has this issue, right?
Yeah,
that
and
we
we
would
did have
have-
a county commissioner attend the in-person one in June as well.
I would assume Susan
Yeah.
did. That's
Yes.
her district. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, and Susan will do an excellent job of getting what needs to be done there. So,
We'll follow up with these questions since you're not meeting next month. We'll follow up with an email.
Okay.
If we need to continue and
okay.
further questions in September, we can do that too.
Okay. Yeah. This is just in a little anomaly, and Aaron and I dropped in on Aaron's talk yesterday, or her session yesterday in the virtual, and there was a person from this area and he had several questions. There were some things that I knew. There were some things that neither Aaron and I knew, and we politely dodged those.
We
So,
followed up with him via email, and
Okay.
I let him know information about the project and invited him to the August meeting
okay.
as well. So
All right. Yeah.
But-
So,
so.
that's good, because short of, if I hadn't read the agenda, I wouldn't have known that this project was happening.
Right,
So,
yeah.
that's good. All right, folks, is there one last call for questions? All right, if there are none, let's see what other items we have on our agenda here. I think that's it.
There's an adjournment.
There's an adjournment item? Okay. The next meeting of the planning, everybody wasn't in yesterday's session for planning commission, but we are rotating committees after our retreat. Our retreat is planned for September 8th, and we'll be rotating committees after that date. And so there will be four different planning committee members than there are now, because we're taking everybody except for Becca's staying because,
Because.
yeah, that's the way it is. And so Becca's staying, and until she runs for office. You know, we need more competition in the mayor race, or I've heard that from somebody. So just in case you have nothing to do with yourself, do I hear a motion for us to adjourn so we can get this off the record? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. And we will see you next time. Bye.